if there, you see lots of Conan O'Brien, for instance,
Mhm.
when he had his show,
Mhm.
he introduces who the guest is, and then
Mhm.
he does like a namaste like this. It's
Yeah.
a common thing that he
Yeah.
does. Is that misappropriation right there for him to do that?
Why is he doing that as opposed to like just shaking hands?
It's a greeting. I mean, he doesn't do
Mhm.
that to the guest. Like when he
Mhm.
says something about
Mhm.
someone that he respects or whatever, he does like the namaskar. It's a common thing that he does.
So it's a way of him showing respect.
I guess, yeah.
That's not too bad.
But is that misappropriation? Does he have to say this is a Hindu greeting every single time he does it?
No, because he's not laughing at it or making fun of it. It's a form of respect, showing respect to the person that he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
When there's NBA All-Star game, they honor the top 75 players.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wade came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know Dwayne Wade?
No.
No, he's the
I
most
don't
like
watch
visible, one of the most visible ones. He comes out there. He does a namaskar also, like
Mhm.
namaste,
Mm.
when they announce.
Mm-hmm.
Is that misappropriation right there?
Why does he do that though? That's my thing. Like, does he know why he's
Doesn't
doing
matter
it?
why. I don't know why either, but like, does that actually mean misappropriation then?
I don't know. I think the problem that I have is you taking all these things, like you take yoga, you take the food, like clothes, taking all these things from us, yet at the same time on social media, laughing at Indian street food videos or the accent, or you cannot pick and choose parts of a culture that you like and then disregard the others. Or, I mean, granted, they are pretty bad parts, but laughing at them, making them popular.
We do that all the time, however, though.
Yeah.
You and I had lunch at a Mediterranean restaurant recently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we enjoy the falafel and whatever veggie kebab tower that you had or whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, isn't it that we disapprove of some parts of a culture? Why can't we have that picking and choosing?
Because it's something that's so deeply ingrained.
And what I'm getting at is there has to be some kind of litmus test to see, is this misappropriation or is it actually just cultural appreciation, but it's done in a way that I'm not completely comfortable with. Just because I'm not comfortable with it does not mean it's misappropriation right away. Yeah. So what's that litmus test look like to you then?
That's really tough. It's just really hard to see parts of the country or parts of the culture being laughed at, being ridiculed. Oh, you guys have so many gods, and it's an icky feeling like to see all these things on social media, yet you see people wearing our clothes or doing yoga or like doing all these things. That's I don't know where that test is, but it's just not a good feeling to have parts ridiculed and parts. And it's like such a popular thing. Like the Indian hate is just so big right now.
So this one framework comes to mind. There's one Jewish scholar. His name is Natan Sharansky. He's an activist who was imprisoned in Russia for several decades, I believe. So he came up with a 3Ds, is what he calls it, to see if something is anti-Semitic or it's just a criticism. Whether it's right or wrong is immaterial. Is it actually anti-Semitic? 3Ds. First is demonization. Saying that the Jewish people are inherently evil, saying that you worship a demonic god, these kinds of things are demonization. Delegitimization, denying the Holocaust, saying that there is no persecution against a group, things like that, delegitimizing what is actually going on, airbrushing history, things like that. Third, then, is double standards. When one group does something, it's okay, but when the Jewish community does it, it's wrong. He says that's double standards. So like that, I guess... Could we say demonizing Hinduism is one way of that? Okay, that's the first one, that you worship a evil god and your systems are wrong, this and that. What else? What else would you add to that framework?
Culture overall, I think. Just the practices that we have, like doing a puja or doing these things, they don't mean anything, or they're just like these ritualistic things that don't matter.
So doing it wrong or...
Doing it without having an understanding of why we're doing it.
So that means we can, as Hindus, we're guilty of this as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I go to weddings. That's one place where it's tough to be, just because you see the different kinds of, I guess, nonsense that goes on even as Hindus. Where one wedding I went to a few years ago, there was no samskaras in that wedding. Like steps that are supposed to be done. A Ganesh Puja portion is supposed to be there. They chanted one Vakratunda Mahakaya and that was it. That took care of that, apparently.
Okay.
And it was this weird experience where Kanyadana, for instance, is something that's up for contention a lot these days. One of the steps in the wedding process, where they translate that into English as giving away of the bride, and they say that's regressive, that's viewing the bride as property, all of these things. What's the mantra actually chanted in Kanyadana? It's that we may have lots of great things in our family. We
Mhm.
have wealth, we have
Yeah.
education,
Mhm.
all of these things.
Mhm.
The thing we value the most, however, is our daughter,
Oh.
where she is nothing less than that Lakshmi Devi herself,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
We view her as that Lakshmi Devi,
Mhm.
nothing less.
Yeah.
Therefore, the union with your boy is
Mhm.
not just to your boy. This is the union of Lakshmi Devi with that Bhagavan Mahavishnu.
Wow.
That's the mantra meaning right there in Kanyadana.
Yeah.
Instead, it's taken on this warped view of being so regressive
Mhm.
that many Hindus of our generation now,
Yeah.
they feel progressive in saying that we're taking out this step, and they're so
Mhm.
proud of it too.
Mhm.
And priests that take out that step are seen as great. So in the
Mhm.
wedding I went to, the priestess who was performing this wedding says,
Yeah.
oh, it's not just Kanyadana to be equality, there should be Purushadana as well, boy being given away. It's like you're making
Yeah.
khichdi out of what this beautiful process is without even understanding it.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, ooh, that's so funny, that's so this. It's not. It's really not funny.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
understand what it is.
Mhm.
So we're hurting our own culture when
Yeah,
we
for sure.
watch this happen
Yeah.
and say nothing about it.
Mhm.
We're hurting ourselves with
Mhm.
samskaras like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so cultural practices, the demonization.
Mhm.
What else then counts as misappropriation in our litmus test?
Where do we go to learn these things, or when does this start? How do we start this then? Because even just the word danam, like donation, that's what we take it as. So it's really hard to have a deeper understanding if we ourselves don't want to change, or we don't understand that we're doing something wrong.
Could we say it's what's the authority?
Yeah.
What's the proper authority on these things?
Mhm.
Because we want to go where we feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And we want to listen to the people that affirm our views.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
You read a newspaper, no one reads newspapers anymore, but like an editorial, editorials that we like are the ones that affirm our worldview. Anything that challenges that, we don't like. That's the system in the media ecosystem we live in today.
Yeah.
So what is that authority?
Mhm.
It has to be those that go by Shastra. That's what makes Chinmaya Mission so special.
Yeah.
We don't go by just public opinion or what's in vogue at the
Mhm.
moment.
Mhm.
Gurudev was always firm that it matters what does the Shastra say.
Yeah.
And he'd always say, don't take anything that I say just because I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Have it be validated by what the scripture says.
Mhm.
He had the security of doing that.
Mhm.
And that's the right way things should be taught.
Mhm.
Any kind of processes.
But people like this that had this wedding, they don't think that they're doing anything wrong. Who are we to stop them or change?
They think
that
they're
view?
being progressive and
They
with the
think-
times and everything. What are some old blowhards that wear weird colors to say about this? I've heard that criticism.
Yeah.
Where do people get the authority then?
How do we change, or how do we question people that think they're doing something more progressive or they're doing something right?
Because when has this been passed down as
Mhm.
something to be understood and done?
Mhm.
I say this to parents all the time.
Yeah.
They'll come to me when their kids are about to get married
Mhm.
and they say, hey, my kid doesn't want a full Vedic wedding. They
Mhm.
wanted something shortened that's
Yeah.
done in like 45 minutes, and they
Mhm.
have tears in their eyes when they say it.
Yeah.
I ask them, okay, when did you teach them the importance of what this Vivaha Samskara is?
Yeah.
When have they've been forced to sit through a puja longer than even 2 hours in their lives?
Yeah.
If they haven't, they won't appreciate this at all.
Mhm.
So we focus so much on the philosophical portion of our religion when we
Yeah.
want to teach it.
Mhm.
Doing Hinduism is much more important than knowing Hinduism.
I like
Right?
that.
You look at our history, a millennia of
Mhm.
generational trauma,
Mhm.
Islamic invasions, Christian invasions, all
Yeah.
of this. Yet Hinduism is still intact.
Yes.
Not because of the philosophy.
Mhm.
It wasn't the philosophy that kept it intact.
Mhm.
It's those practices that are there.
Yeah.
You break down our temples, okay, ghar ghar mein mandir hai, we're still going to have these practices going
Yeah.
forward.
Mhm.
You kill the lineage of gurus
Mhm.
over time.
Mhm.
This is an oral tradition. That
Yeah.
practice of Shastra Adhyayanam
Mhm.
still keeps it intact.
Yeah.
It's the practices.
Mhm.
But we've dismissed practices in the name of it's not convenient,
Yeah.
it seems arcane, I don't understand it.
Mhm.
So it starts with those special occasions,
Mhm.
like Vivaha Samskara, whether it's a wedding.
Yeah.
To the point where some people are not even confident that when they pass away,
Mhm.
will their children even perform their Antim Samskaras the right way?
Mm.
That has severe
Wow.
ramifications for
Yeah.
the gati of this jiva and everything.
Mhm.
So it's important stuff.
Yeah.
Yet,
Yeah.
if the practices die away,
Mhm.
that's how the religion starts to crumble.